The Book of Forest by Forrest Stafford Newby, July 22nd, 2004 through August 7th, 2017, as recorded by his mother. I died on August 7th, 2017. It was a sunny day, but not too hot. My mom suggested we take the bikes and a picnic down to the river. My dad and my sister were in town for the evening for back-to-school orientation. We loaded the bikes in the Jeep along with our water bottles and the picnic dinner. We were having a great chat on the way there. As we got within a mile of the low water crossing, I felt very excited about the idea of biking down the big hills. Biking has always felt like flying, and earlier that summer I had learned to bike with no hands. I talked my mom into dropping me off so that I could bike the rest of the way down. I waved at her and she was off. I waited a few minutes so that she'd be well out of my way, as I knew my bike would go fast. I set off riding toward the right side of the gravel road in case I were to meet a car on a blind curve. My dad always talked about that when he was driving. I took my hands up and spread them wide. Then I looked up toward the sky. I was flying. It felt so amazing. The air was cool and the sky was clear except for some patches of very high clouds. It was so perfect. I was soaring and I was free. Then I heard my mom calling for me. I saw her walking up the big hill, calling my name, and she was angry. I wasn't sure what I had done wrong. I called back to her, but she didn't hear me. She started yelling and cursing. She said I had better not be playing a joke on her. I didn't understand why she couldn't see or hear me. She got to where we had parked to unload my bike and called my dad. She told him she couldn't find me. He said to check all the ditches. I was jumping up and down in her face, and she didn't even see me. She started down the hill, and she was very worried. In just a few moments, we found my body. I was shocked. I was pale and limp. There was blood everywhere. There was goo and gore coming out of my left ear and my nostrils. Mama looked to the sky and let out the most blood-curdling wail. It gave me chills. She started screaming for help. She tried to call 911, but there was no signal, so she ran to the nearest house, all the while screaming, "Help! Call 911!" It seemed to take forever to get the man to understand and to help. He tried to get his van up the hill to get a signal. Mama spoke to the 911 operator. She said I was unconscious, head trauma, and possible spinal. She said she wanted to go and be with me, so she hung up the phone. But I was already with her. I was standing right next to her, and I was speechless. We ran back to my body. She sat in the weeds and got very close. She wanted to touch me, but she knew that could cause me further injury. She gently checked for a pulse and couldn't tell if what she felt was hers or mine. And then she became very calm and clear. She opened her arms wide with her palms toward my body and spoke. "Forrest, you're going to be okay. Help is coming. We're going to have to clean up your body and fix a few things, but I promise when it's safe, you can come back to your body. It might be a few weeks, but you can come back to your body." That's when I finally understood why she couldn't see or hear me. I wasn't in my body. I was floating. Understanding hit me like a whoosh of energy, and then I saw them. I saw a group of maybe 12 beings, like human-shaped, but made out of pulsating rainbow lights. One of them, a taller male, came and embraced me. It felt like every love, every warm homemade cookie, every laugh, tickle, bearded sniff, everything warm and wonderful, all at once. And then I remembered. I saw thousands of years' worth of images and feelings of being with Dad and Mom and Raven and other various family and friends over and over again, in so many places and times, changing bodies like changing clothes. And I remembered that we had a plan. We had agreed to a mission. We had agreed that I would die on this day. The light beings were in a close circle around me. They didn't speak with words, but it was pretty clear I had a choice. I could return to my body. They showed me months of being kept alive by machines in a hospital. They showed me how hard that would be for my family. They showed me wheelchairs and permanent brain damage. Then they showed me castles made of light. They showed me how to be everywhere at once. They showed me how to talk to my family and friends and how we could still be close. I was elated. I went back to the ditch where Mom was still talking to me, and I said, Mom, it's okay. I'm okay. Everything's going to be fine. She heard me. She looked right at me and felt some relief. But as the emergency people arrived and she talked to them each, I realized she still believed I would come back. I have to admit, it was very, very hard to watch the strangers react in horror to my body, and it was heartbreaking when the sheriff told my mom. Then a bit later, Dad and Raven showed up, and they were all shattered. Their wails and tears shook the crystal white lines of my new world. The castles of light shuddered. I looked at my own light body, and it shimmered from bright pale blue to dark, muddy blue. The others came close and formed a protective circle. I was in the center of the hug that Mom, Dad, and Raven made, and the others were surrounding us, holding us all as our hearts broke open. Then I noticed that all the emergency people had teams of light workers or angels with them. The angels were pumping energy into the people so that they could do their jobs without falling apart.